Hello, beautiful people of the world. Today I am here with an October forecast for 2023. So I wanted to say right off the bat, October 1st, things will get a lot easier, or more so like more clear, and there'll be more movement and action within your interpersonal relationships and your inner world. So Venus has been going through a lot of difficult aspects for months now, which does resolve itself later into the month. What's really significant about October 1st is that Mars in Libra is squaring Pluto in Capricorn until the 16th. So I know that this is another difficult placement. However, what I think it is really bringing forth is this undeniable change and shift in energy, shift in your relationships, how you interact with other people, what you want from other people, what other people bring to you, the energy and the give and take. Mars in Libra is really trying to seek balance within relationships, and it does that through both action and non-action. And Pluto in Capricorn is currently kind of dying onto its transit. It's really, really long transit. In Capricorn, it's almost in Aquarius next year. But right now, it's sort of at this end bit of the whole world needs to fall apart, and the whole system needs to be broken down, and we need to completely reinvent who we are as people, right? That's really been the theme for a while, and it's getting worse because we're almost there to the point where maybe perhaps we have caused enough disruption that we can actually start to fix things that are broken. I digress. My point being that this really long aspect between the two of them, while it will be challenging at times, there's not too much that you need to do about it, if that makes sense. With some of these planetary energies and things coming through, we really do need to do a lot of inner work and soul searching and try to work with the energies and adapt with them and make important decisions and this kind of a thing. But I think with this, it's really just going to happen anyway. And so you really should notice these very powerful changes and transformations in your life when it comes to relationships. That's going to be experienced really differently by everybody. But I think specifically with how difficult relationships have been because of Venus, as well as all of these planets in retrograde and Mercury retrograde, which was going on for so long of a time, I think it's just really needed to bring a new, fresh energy into your interpersonal world. And I think that you won't have to try so hard, basically. And I think that things will go in the direction that they need to go. And it should feel like there's some more forward momentum. There might be people that are looking for new friends, or people that are looking in or out of a relationship, or people that are having difficulty with family, coworkers, themselves, what have you. I think that there's a lot more that can be accomplished right at the beginning of the month, which is over the weekend as well. So hopefully, we all see that in our lives. Even though, like I said, it's a negative aspect, I'm kind of feeling this in a positive way just because of all of the things that have been going on. I think we could kind of use a little bit of Pluto and Mars to kind of get us through. On the 3rd, Venus in Leo opposes Saturn in Pisces until October 15th. So this is October 3rd, Tuesday. Venus has been really having a hard time. Like I said, it's still going to continue into a good bit through October. However, what's really resonant of this is that romantic love, platonic love, universal love, familial love, all of it is really not possible without having a really deep understanding of self-love. And that is what Venus in Leo has been doing all of this for. That's been the point of all of the difficulties and all of the frustrations and the loneliness and the pain that you may or may not have been feeling going through your own life lately, over the past few months. And I think that it's probably frustrating still. Like I said, there's more relief and more forward momentum going into October, which certainly is helpful. We're not quite all the way where we need to be in terms of all that, and in terms of Venus, which Mars, Venus, and Mercury and the moon, they really affect people a lot. And so when they are going through something for a while, I think it's something that is felt on a universal level. But Venus is really just trying to get in tune with herself in Leo. I mean, Venus in Leo really is that embodiment of confidence and just purely loving who you are and your own identity and your own independence and your own sovereignty. It is so important for all of us to learn that. No matter where you have Venus and no matter where you have Leo, it is calling upon us to really look at ourselves. Who are we? What do we want from life? What we deserve it all, and to feel this abundance and happiness and joy. Venus Leo as well just wants to play, it's usually a very jovial and enjoyable transit. I think that she really hasn't been able to fully express herself with all of these aspects going on. And it is what it is. It's part of the process, right? It's divine timing, and it's probably going to still continue into October for a few weeks, unfortunately, but it will be easier. And Saturn in Pisces right now coming through, you're really going to want to infuse a sense of self-love and love for the universe and the universe's love for you, and trying to get those closer to each other. I think that will really bridge the gap between a lot of emotional discomfort that sometimes people feel when experiencing love. I mean, we've all been through so much that sometimes it brings up all these other things, right? And we just want to feel at home in the world. And I think it's important to remember that, I'm you, you are me, hearing this, speaking this, feeling this. And love comes internally as well as externally and infinitely. And I think that this opposition really can bring a lot of beauty into your life if you can take that self-love and use it to connect with other people on a universal, spiritual, real, empathetic level as well. I think that these other planets are pulling this energy out of Venus, who just wants to have it all for herself. And that's good and all of that. It's all about balance, right? So Saturn is really just trying to get us to expand even deeper. Going into October 5th, Mercury moves from Virgo into Libra, and it also ends its pretty long opposition that it had been having with Neptune. So, and on the 6th as well, Venus in Leo finally ends its square with Uranus. So at least it just has the Saturn stuff going on. We're done with the Jupiter stuff. So the 5th and the 6th are really about letting go in a lot of different ways. I mean, specifically with Mercury moving into Libra and feeling a little bit more liberated and back in an air sign, even though Virgo is a natural place for it to be, it's often uncomfortable it's often uncomfortable to experience Mercury Virgo energy because it is so damn intense. I mean, it's good. It's healing, it's clarifying, it's brilliant. I just think that for a lot of people, it can also bring anxiety and critical thinking and analytics and doing a lot of healing work and getting in there. So sometimes it can just be very rapid paced for people to process with all this other stuff going on, is what I meant by that. So I think now that it's moving into Libra, it should really help you sort of as well shift from, okay, what's wrong with me? What can I do better? What do I need to communicate? How can I communicate better? What can I fix about myself? What and also projecting this on other people. That kind of thought process that we've been doing because we needed to do all of this inner work will shift into more of a relational mindset. So you'll probably, for the rest of October, find yourself thinking more about other people, thinking more about your relationships, not just in a way of like, who am I in this relationship, but really thinking about who you are with that person, what that means, who they are, what you can create from that. It will, you'll be more appreciative and spend more time with the people in your life that you care about. They'll be on your mind more often, especially if you, are in very high-level relationships with people. You'll really think about them a lot. And it should be easier to communicate with people as well. Mercury in Libra really is all about fairness and sharing and balance and enjoying company and hanging out with people. So I think Mercury is pretty happy there for the most part. And I think that will bring some relief into everything that's going on with Venus, which will get better on the 6th, like I said, as it finally ends that 2-month-long square. So the last few months have been challenging and all of that, but this really gives space and opportunity to share more intimate connection with people and in partnership. Specifically, you should feel a lot safer within your own body and physical space and immediate space, because Leo and Taurus are both very much aware of the energy around them and their own space, what they're projecting, what other people are projecting, and they can be very protected and guarded about it, and they've been going against each other. So really things should open up in terms of physical energy with people. The opposition Venus is going through now with Saturn is really, like I said, trying to draw out even more love and spirituality from your heart and how you experience love, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. And Jupiter in Taurus has really been trying to get us to expand who we are on the very deep physical level. And that can bring up a lot of difficult things. As well, we all have, like, trauma lives in the body, and no matter what you've been through in life and things like this, I believe there's an electromagnetic resonance that holds our memories and our feelings, and it's in your muscles and it's in who you are. Not to say that everything isn't always flexible and elastic, but I just want to get the point across that now that this square is ending, I think that a lot of the work you've been doing towards feeling more comfortable and alive in your own body, in your own skin, in your own health, in your own space, in your own sovereignty will really feel like it's paid off, and it'll start to feel like a big pressure release. And I think it's important to be patient with yourself, be patient with other people, go at the pace that you need to go in terms of your own experience, journey, healing life, whatever. But it should be easier to expand now that both Jupiter can work on its expansive self and Venus can continue doing what she needs to do. It shouldn't be as opposed anymore, which is really nice. So I would say that the weekend of the 7th and the 8th is a really good weekend. I think it should feel pretty nice. I think it should really shift the energies a lot. Like, I think by the time you get through this week, it will really feel very different. So I think that looks like a pretty good week, honestly. Even though there's a lot going on, it's positive. On Monday, October 9th, Venus moves into Virgo and continues to oppose Saturn until Friday the 13th. Ooh, Friday the 13th. But so this is helpful as well. With the shift from Leo to Virgo, Venus feels a lot more confident to move forward, going for more further levels of purity and healing and expansion. And it's important to note with this opposition that Venus and Virgo really wants nothing less than perfection, really, from a partner, and healing and love and all of that. But it can also be deeply critical. in its pursuit of perfection. And when it comes to love, I think Saturn in Pisces being involved here really is trying to help us remember that we're all perfectly imperfect, and you've got to learn how to love everything about you, whether you call it shadow work or whatever. It's so important to just be in the present moment and to just feel whatever you feel, and to get messy and to make mistakes and to just like whatever you need to say and feel. It's still really important to do that. And so I just think that's a bit of an interesting energy to work with for the week while that's going on. But I do think Venus is a lot happier in Virgo, because at that point it's like, okay, cool, that Leo thing was a lot, but we got through it, and now I'm feeling clear and centered and focused, basically. But just don't forget to let yourself go wild as well. On the 12th, Mars moves from Virgo into Scorpio, and this really starts to set the tone for the later parts of October. There's more Scorpio to come, so the passions and desires that you've been cultivating, monitoring, editing, working on, holding back, exploring, all of that are going to start coming out into full force. And you can't really hide from this. It's going to pull out your shadows whether you want it to or not. But try not to have like a knee-jerk reaction to it. Just lean into the power that this is going to bring, because Mars and Scorpio, you're going to go after what you want and you're going to get it. And if you don't, then you probably didn't really want that. So there's a lot of inner work to be done as well. Make sure to focus on that, or you might disrupt others. Mars and Scorpio can be very intense, but I think because everything has been in retrograde, like I said, and very long-term difficult aspects, that this is a really refreshing energy of like, okay, I want this, I'm getting it, let's go. Let's go here, let's do that. I feel this way, I want to do this, that, and the other. I think that'll really as well help bring some more forward movement into the situation. So on the 14th and the 15th, that weekend, the Sun, Moon, Mercury are all very close together in Libra, right by Scorpio, Mars, and it's a new moon on the 14th. So if that's not auspicious, I don't really know what is. This weekend is absolutely a weekend that you want to spend with other people. You want to go hang out with your friends, go see your family, go on a date, go hang out with a bunch of people, go to an event, go to an activity somewhere. If you don't have plans on the weekend of the 14th or the 15th, make them. And if really it all falls through, I mean, call somebody, try to feel involved in your community somehow, because it's just so beautifully positive in the sense that you want to be with people during that time. I just really highly recommend that. I think it's going to make sense, and there's not much more that needs to be said. On Monday the 16th, Mercury in Libra squares Pluto until the 24th. Bummer. So for about a week. But this square, this sort of connects to what Mars and Pluto will have going on, because that square ends today. So the first few weeks of October, you're kind of reinventing your actions and behaviors when it comes to relationships, but now it's going to be on really transforming your thoughts and getting extremely open about your communication, your interpersonal communication, your mind and your thoughts. Being honest is very important, as well as trying to find new ways to perceive life. If you're not getting where you want with your thoughts and your communication, then it's time to flip the script. That's really what that's giving me as well. Like, Pluto is getting in there and getting in your mind and your thoughts and how you think about other people and your relationships, and it's asking you to transform that in a very powerful way for the betterment of those relationships and for you and others. I really don't have any notes for the 17th, 18th, or the 19th. For whatever reason, that is just me. I'm following certain things, I suppose. On the 20th, Venus in Virgo trines the moon in Capricorn and Jupiter as well in Taurus. So there's this really beautiful earth energy going on between all three in the sky. So your heart's really going to be pushed to expand over the next few weeks in general. And now I would say on the 20th is officially where Venus is kind of ready to manifest into the physical world what she has been working on for all of these months. So try to breathe in as much green energy into your heart as possible. Really get into your heart chakra, go out into nature and vibe with that. It's really important to just bring love in through the earth and expand your heart and breathe and feel the love from the planet and send it back. Even for a few moments, it is so powerful. So the weekend of the 21st, 22nd, Mercury moves from Libra into Scorpio. So you're going to dive even deeper into the way that you are processing your emotions through your thoughts. You should probably have an increased ability to affect other people emotionally with what you're saying and vice versa. Mercury in Scorpio is sort of that thing. So just be aware of the fact that you all might be affecting each other a little bit more with your communication. So it's a good idea to say what you mean, but also to have empathy and an awareness of your surroundings. Otherwise, it can sort of cause some issues. Dark, intrusive thoughts might unfortunately also be sort of a thing that are coming through with this energy, but you just, I see you, I feel you, I hear you, and stop. And don't run from it, just be with it until you feel that you can move on in whatever capacity every time that happens. That's the best that we really can do. So don't worry too much. Bottling up things or ignoring them is going to cause really devastating consequences because there's just a lot going on right now. And there's a lot in Scorpio and Libra. And so, just kind of watch what you say. Dig into philosophy and therapy and reading and water and be sharp and be mindful and be present. Just also be aware of how you're affecting other people on an energetic level. On the 24th, Mars, Mercury, and the Sun are all very close together in Scorpio, and they collectively are trining with Saturn and the Moon in Pisces, which is so beautiful. So October 24th is really, that's very powerful as well. It's certainly going to be a very extremely emotionally transformative kind of a day. It seems really positive in nature. It's so important to go with the flow on this day specifically, to just feel, go with it. Try to cut the clutter out of your life, eat healthy so that you can really feel and receive all of the messages that are coming through. I'm feeling like this is a very powerful day for a lot of different reasons and really can provide so many emotional breakthroughs. Just try, to go with the flow, like I said, because it's so intense and overwhelming that if you try to control it and direct it and move through it your own way or the ego's way, it's going to just get messy and annoying. So just try to be submissive to the day and let it take you where it needs to go. Trust me. And then on the 26th, Mercury in Scorpio opposes Jupiter in Taurus until November 7th, 8th, around then. Jupiter wants you to continue expanding your sense of physicality, but Mercury wants you to go more into the depths of your emotional realm. So there's this tension between feeling grounded and safe and stable where you are right now, and then this energy that wants you to dig even deeper, dig up your bullshit, go to the depths, unsettle everything, and dig up all of the gems that are in there and bring them to the surface. This is really the struggle between Taurus and Scorpio, and they both want stability and power and control, but Taurus wants control in the sense of stillness, growth, but very slow, stillness, predictability. And Scorpio wants growth in an intense way and to just fuck it all up. But because they know, like I said, like turning all of that soil, you never know what you're gonna find in there. So they are a bit in counteracting purposes, but it's really an amazing opportunity to heal past trauma for good and kind of listen, like let Scorpio and Mercury take you to where you need to go, but then let all of that Jupiter Taurus energy ground you and expand into that as a physical human being on Earth. Like, we've got to remember both of those things at once, feel what we need to feel, and hopefully it can actually pass through us and we can become stronger for that process. So it's some more inner work to do, but it'll be all right. The 28th to the 29th, Mars in Scorpio opposes the moon and Jupiter in Taurus, and it is a full moon. So this is going to feel really urgent and intense. It seems like there's some really serious emotional bullshit that you need to fucking figure out once and for all and let go into the ethers and into the moon and into the earth. It needs to be alchemized into something else that can be of your highest benefit. And the earth knows how to transmute anything back into positive energy. I really believe. Like, if you need to put negative energy somewhere and get it out of your body, give it to earth, because earth knows what to do with it. And it will just become, you know what I mean? And it doesn't negatively impact. When you truly, with an open heart and an open mind, send it, not to like project it negatively, but to say, Earth, please help me with this. You will get so much back from that process. So going out into nature on that weekend, the 28th, 29th, I really think is super important. It seems like more of an introspective situation. So if you are going to be spending that weekend with somebody or with other people, I think it's just important to be aware of where everyone's at, like in the party of people that you are and how they're feeling that day. Just so that there's not an explosion, basically. There's just a lot of energies kind of clashing for this one, and the full moon can already be pretty intense as it is. So just, there's an opportunity to heal with people, but it can also make things a little bit overstimulating and overcomplicated. So just kind of be aware of that. And then Halloween, October 31st, Venus in Virgo opposes Neptune now in Pisces for about a week. So this is probably going to link back and reflect to the energies from earlier, the week of the 9th, where it was opposing Saturn. And I think this is more work to do. And excuse me, that those dates are wrong. But the point of that was like in the 3rd. But I think it is going to reflect on that in terms of like bringing your spiritual self, even more so bringing your delusions, bringing your dreams, bringing your esoteric crazy stuff to the table in your relationships is so important, because it is a big part of who we all are. Like our little taboos and our little thoughts and opinions, like, talk about aliens or your kinks or your secrets or something you never said to somebody or all of that, but also what you really want in life, what you really wanted, if you could be anything, if you could be an astronaut or a pop star, like that kind of level sometimes where it seems delusional and it's this mystical Neptune beauty in Pisces. But I think it's important to bring that into Venus and Virgo again, to say, look, I know you're trying to make everything perfect right now, but also remember that life is a beautiful disaster. Don't hold anything back, really. So I think that this month, October, is going to be extremely powerful and very transformative, and I really hope that a lot of people find the answers that they're looking for to all of their questions. I hope that this brings some sort of insight to anyone out there, and If you've made it this far, thank you so much. I love you guys.